I believe today is day 6. Yeah, because tomorrow I leave. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm heading to my last tour. While I'm here, I'm meeting the tour guide at Piccadilly Circus. So I'm heading there now. I'm actually not going to Aldgate East Station for once. I'm going to Tower Hill Station, which is apparently closer. So my tour starts at 11. My tour guide will be there at 10:50. Just trying to make sure I get there in a decent time. Originally, he sent an email saying he had to cancel because of the weather, because it's supposed to rain today. And he said, I could give you a full refund, or if you want to reschedule, you can reschedule for next week. And I'm like, oh, I was really looking forward to the tour, but unfortunately I can't reschedule because today is my last day here. I'm visiting from the States. So he was like, you know what? Okay, I will come. It'll just be you because the other person backed out. So you'll have my one-on-one attention. I'm like, okay, cool. Originally the tour was supposed to be from 11 to 2, but he shortened it. He said 11 to like 12:30, which is fine with me. I don't, it doesn't matter. Fingers crossed that the rain holds up and I don't have to worry about any of that. Somebody sounded like they was just playing. I'm trying to get y'all to see the bridges over there. I might go explore that when I come back, if I come back the same way. It sounded like somebody was just playing Sanchez just now, which wouldn't be surprising because they play all types of music here, which is refreshing to hear. Yeah, this is a much quicker walk than walking to Aldgate East. But, once you get familiar with something and you're in a different place, you just kind of stick with it to avoid confusion and error. I did not bring my gimbal, so I apologize for all the shaky footage you guys are going to witness. But y'all been rocking with me for this long, so you'll be all right. I promise. All right, here we are. Okay. So we'll do this here. Oh, hello? There we go. It's hot. God damn.
Customer information. Between Wednesday the 4th and Thursday the 12th of August, there will be no condition line between Coastal and Aldgate East.
That joint be coming in fast. Like, the train don't even slow down. Ugh. I'm supposed to meet him at the statue of Eros. I don't even know which way that is. Oh, right here. What's happening? Is there a parade? Oh, I think that's him.
This building was known as, used to be called Rainbow Corner. During the Second World War, the American soldiers took this over for their recreation. They used to have a nightclub there. They used to play pool, have donuts and jukebox, but they wouldn't allow the black folks in there.
Oh, of
None
course.
The black soldiers were allowed in
Of
there.
course.
So they found their own place a little ways down, around the corner. So that was their building, and now it's a sort of an exhibition place. Straight down there's a place called Café du Paris. In 1941, one of the most famous entertainers in the 40s was a Guyanese gentleman named Snake Hips Johnson.
Snake Hips Johnson.
Snake Hips Johnson. They call him Snake Hips because he did dance. He's a dancer. But he was performing, and there was an air raid. The Germans were dropping bombs over London. They felt that because the nightclub was in the basement, they would be okay. Well, it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
The bomb went right through, killed him instantly, and many of his fellow band members,
Right.
as well as a few people in the audience. They found Snakehitt's body in immaculate condition without his head, but he still had his bouquet there.
Oh my God.
Is this your first time in London?
Yeah, this is my first trip here.
Let me give you my background. I was born in Guyana.
Yes.
My,
I mean, can I record you? Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Shout out to his hat. Let me see the hat. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. I love it.
So I came here in 1959. I'm 64. I was very fortunate to go back to Guyana to do my secondary education. So I became in touch with my heritage that way. However, I fell in love with London. I actually, after I came back here from doing my secondary education, I finished my college. I studied hospitality management. Moved to the Caribbean. I was in Barbados for a little bit. Then I went to Miami, Florida.
Wow.
And then to Los Angeles.
Wow.
So my family are all in the States now.
Yeah. Okay.
I came back here in 2007 and remarried. I divorced my first wife. I remarried. She was a Bajan. My second wife, she's half Ghanaian and half English. However, she did her PhD thesis on a Guyanese author by the name of Edgar Mittelhauser.
Okay.
Anyway, we connected, and she, like myself, we have a love for history. I have an uncle named Rory. He passed now, but in 1961, he and two other students submitted an entry to redesign this area, the Piccadilly Circus. They were students at an architectural college in Brixton. Well, they sent in a blind entry. In other words, their names were not known, but their entry was judged, and they won the competition. That's my dad's brother.
Wow.
He won the competition.
Wow.
Along with a Ghanaian gentleman and a gentleman from what's now Malaysia. So they redesigned this whole area.
Oh wow.
But it was never put into play, but yet they gained a lot of recognition. The Jet magazine, they said 3 non-whites win English architectural contest. So they were in that edition.
Nice.
So that's Uncle Rory there, my dad's
Wow.
brother.
It's amazing.
Lion's tea room it looked like this. This is 213 Piccadilly, 213, but the building is not here anymore. But it is in this very spot. So another uncle of mine, this gentleman here, he was just out of the war. He served in the Second World War. Wanted to save up some money to go back to Guyana. So he took a job in this restaurant, and he was a dishwasher. And he actually told me this story. He says that the dishwashing machine and so on was making a lot of noise, but a little old lady came up to him and said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Well, I'm from British Guyana." "Oh, British Guyana. I hear they eat mice there."
What?
And he said, "Well, yes, we do, but we don't eat it like you with milk and sugar. We put a little salt and water." Now he thought she said rice.
Rice.
She looked at him and said, "Hey," ran away. London is filled with so many things to do with Black Legacies. I can't do them all today, but I'm giving you the highlights. Okay, this building here. This building here is called the Dilly, but on that site used to be a place called St. James's Hall. It looked like this. Okay, this was built around the early 1900s. St. James's Hall was a building that used to do a lot of entertaining. They had a small hall where for 25 years they had a group called the Minstrels. Minstrels are people like this. Now these are white folk.
Right, in blackface.
Blackface. One of their most popular shows ran consecutively for 25 years right here in this spot. So when people would come to London, they had to come to this location to see the Minstrels. All right, they were called the Christie Minstrels. And it really permeated for many years beyond that. When the show ended, even the BBC started a show called the Black and White Minstrel Show, and that was on television for about almost 25 years also. It didn't end until the 70s.
Wow.
So, yeah. So now you could certainly you wouldn't see.
Right, of course.
But yeah, it was quite popular back then. You didn't know that?
No.
All right.
Church service.
What is good and right and true in a world that regularly reminds us of what is evil and wrong and false is not
It's a black
at
woman.
all easy.
Okay.
Okay, so this is St. James's Church. St. James's Church was designed by Christopher Wren, and the first abolitionists, black abolitionists that were well known, Olado Equiano and Otaba Pagwana. These gentlemen, this is the church.
This name sounds familiar. I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, these were kidnapped from West Africa as young men. They eventually settled in London. In London, you could not own slaves. So this was safe ground.
Okay.
So they were here fighting for the slavery to be abolished. So when you went to Guyana 2 years ago, you liked what you saw?
Yeah, it felt like home. Honestly, we did there was a tour on the Essequibo that took us over to like show us like all the, the historical sites where the Dutch and all of them came and all that stuff.
So you went to Fort Island probably? Or,
Yes, yeah. I have the pictures. I can show you some of the pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my cousin did the tour. Because she doesn't really do much. She's always at home with the kids. So when I went, she was like, okay, we'll find stuff for you to do and blah, 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 blah. So it was really, really nice.
This particular house, which is 10 Duke Street, it was owned by a gentleman called Kenneth Francis Mackenzie, living from 1804 to 1840. He was married to Anne Townsend. Between the two of them, in the compensation for their enslaved Africans, they got, in today's money, £2.4 million cash. The Africans, you know how much money they got? The enslaved Africans?
Zero.
They got nothing. The Mackenzies, they had a lovely castle, homes here in London, and they never, very few visited. I don't believe the Mackenzies visited the Caribbean at all. They just waited for their money to come in. He had a partner who owned a little more. He owned a plantation, Annandale, Cane Grove. His partner was not too happy with the way things were going. Went out to Guyana, and there was an uprising in 1818, and it resulted in two of the overseers. An overseer is like a manager being killed. 50 to 100 of his Negroes ran away into the backlands, but those that he caught, he would decapitate them and put the head on spikes and have them on the road, so people the enslaved Africans would see. You try that again, this will happen to you. The morbid story begins.
Yeah, I think they would do the same thing in America. Well, not the head on the spike. I think they used to hang them like along the pathway towards the house, so you could see if you were trying to run away or you're thinking about it, this is what's gonna happen.
Same.
Yep. I had binge watched The Crown, and so I remember there was a gentleman's club that.
That's right.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it may have been filmed in one of these buildings along here. Now, in order to get into a club, you cannot just walk in and apply. You have to be recommended. You have to be transferred by an existing member. And the way they do it, and I think the system is still in play, if you're a member, you are when the membership committee sits down, there's a box, and in that box there is an equal amount of black balls and white balls. If you want the person, you give them a white ball. If you don't want them, you give them a black ball. So if ever you hear the expression being blackballed,
oh, that's where that comes from.
that's where it comes from. Yeah, Robinson Crusoe is a classic story of a white man that gets shipwrecked on a desert island, and he finds and saves a native of the island, a black man, and calls him his man Friday. He calls him Friday. The author of that book, Robinson Crusoe, used to stay in a building like in this building here, and observe what's going on and so on. But why I also mention it is that coffee shops were synonymous for places where individuals, mostly of wealth, would come to look for young fellas to take care of their needs. This was a typical advertisement that one could see in a coffee shop. And a black boy, 12 years of age, fit to wait on a gentleman, to be disposed of. So in other words, they'd come trolling along with a little boy and say, he'll do whatever you want for him. This was the place. So a lot of
Wow.
a lot of wrong things.
Disgusting.
Yes. And so the place of exchange was a place like this. So I'm telling you the sordid stories as well. So across the way, we're not going to go over there right now, there's the National Portrait Gallery. The Portrait Gallery still to this day have a picture of John Hawkins. John Hawkins, he was the first person to bring enslaved Africans out of Africa, and his portrait still stands in the National Portrait Gallery. All right, so we got our rain. Let's hope it doesn't get too much.
Yeah, too much worse than this.
Look at that, look at the building.
In the Windrush era, it was the underground service that gave them not only shelter, temporary shelter in some underground tunnels, but also employment. In fact, it was very common to find West Indians at the collecting tickets. Yes, cleaning probably the trains, but they were very good to the West Indian community, the transport system. I really can't fault them in the least. And they continue to be. I think they say that London transport has one of the most cosmopolitan mixes of people.
This joint look haunted.
Yeah, Caxton there. Have you heard of W.E.B. Du Bois?
Yeah.
Okay. In 1900, Du Bois came here and gave a wonderful lecture. And a quote from his speech. This is July the 25th, 1900. He said, "Let the British nation, the first modern champion of Negro freedom, hasten to crown the work of Wilberforce, Clarkson," he's the one that made that plaque that went to Christie's, Clarkson, Buxton, Sharp, Bishop, Colonso, and Livingston, and give as soon as practicable the rights of responsible government to the black colonies of Africa and the West Indies. So Du Bois was saying this in 1900, and independence came to these countries around the 60s. So 60 years later, what happened was what he was asking for back then. But Du Bois gave a rousing speech in this very building. But it was bombed in the Second World War. Our friend Ignatius Sancho, the one that had the grocery store back there, he was buried right around the corner, but his grave was blown up when the bomb fell. But we honor him here. So this is This tells you the story about Ignatius Sancho. So he was a child slave. Actually, when he came to this country as a child, and the captain of the ship took him to two spinsters in South London to take care of, and he stayed there for a little while, but didn't really take to them too much, and just got away and did his own thing. But his grave allegedly was somewhere around that corner. So we're going to make our way now. Did you go to Westminster Abbey yesterday?
Yes, yeah, we did.
Did they point out anything significant there?
Well, he told me about, you know, all the weddings and funerals and all the ceremonies and things that happen there.
Any of the heroes?
Hero? No.
Okay. All right. Then he didn't take my glory.
Now the rain is falling. Not hard, but it's a little harder than before. Woo! Woo! It's coming.
It's almost like it waited for us, because I want to do this, and then we head out. Here in Westminster Abbey, there are 4 individuals that are black. So the second one, first of all, the name is Manche Mansala, a young girl that commits suicide because she wouldn't conform to Christianity. Against her parents' wishes. She snuck away and went to classes and so on, and the pressure got too much for her. She just committed suicide. But so she is a South African martyr. On the 5th one along there, you see Martin Luther King.
Oh yeah. Okay, right here, Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. Okay. Then the number 3 there is someone called Janini Lawam from Uganda. That was an archbishop. He was arrested in 1977, tortured and killed.
Right here.
And then Lucien Tapiendi, which is the last one to the second to last. Okay, he was a Papua New Guinea teacher. He, along with 7 others, were killed as missionaries in Papua New Guinea in 1942. So many people don't realize there are black martyrs right here.
Yeah.
All right, so here ends the tour.
Woo!
Here ends the tour. An hour and a half.
Yes. All right, so my tour is done. I'm going to head towards food and Wi-Fi of some sort. He was really cool. Really cool. Let me actually cross the street, because he told me I gotta go straight down and then turn to the right, so I might as well just cross the street here. Yeah, that was a really cool tour. He's like super Guyanese and super proud, and I love it. I really love it. I'm super glad he decided to come and do the tour with me. He's like, you should have told me you were Guyanese early. I would have, told you some restaurants to go to. I would have tried to help you, like, find your family and stuff like that. But I'm still gonna reach out to him with that information and see if he can help me out. But yeah, it was really dope. There's another protest going on. This is a different country, it looks like, protesting. Literally, like, every day there's a protest in front of the Prime Minister's house. And he's not even home, from what my last tour guide told me, apparently. Like, y'all think America is bad. They be out here every day protesting. Every day. I wonder if there's like a schedule to sign up to protest. That must be how it is. They seem like they might be a lot more organized than American protesters. Like, y'all got Monday, we got Tuesday. Equal rights. Respect. Grace. What does that say? I don't know what that says. Justice for Gurkhas. Gurkhas. The rain finally came down. Thankfully, I'm in here charging my phone. And hopefully it stops before I leave. This is Charing, what is it called? Charing Square? Charing Cross? It kind of looks like Penn Station. So I think that's where you get the other type of train, the DLR or whatever it's called, to go to the outer parts of London. This rain, honey. And I literally just bought this umbrella and the shit broke already. So now, I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do. And I was gonna bring an umbrella here, but I left it at home because I said I'm not gonna need it. It's gonna be rainy, it's gonna be sunny and beautiful. And it was for majority of my trip. I don't know how I just broke this. I just bought this shit. It was for majority of my trip, and now here we are, stuck. So I stopped at a gift shop earlier, and I didn't buy anything because I didn't really see anything I wanted. So I ended up sitting in Starbucks for a few hours, and I had to go to the bathroom. They don't have one in there, so I decided to run to the store again, to the gift shop, buy an umbrella so I could get to the bathroom. On the way to the bathroom, I saw another gift shop, and I'm like, okay, when I come back, I'll go to that one. Went to that one, and I'm just now leaving it. I was in there for like, God, I don't even know, 25 minutes. Probably like 25 minutes talking to this man. This man gave me all of this free shit because he claims he's in love with me. I'm just like, this is crazy. He gave me a necklace, a bracelet, an umbrella, a sweatshirt, all of this. I'm just like, you're bugging out. You know, this is so nice. I'm dead. Bye. Nobody's trying to get you on camera.
I don't know. Did you want me in it or not?
It doesn't matter.